Alright friends, I just wanted to make this video to go over this first worksheet, the Practice Characteristics of Life 1. This is the one that went with the video from last time that was made by somebody else that talked about all of the 8 characteristics of life. Hopefully at this point you have it all filled out, and right now you are just checking your answers alongside me. So first I'll start with the definitions for biotic and abiotic. So we know that bio means life, so something that is biotic would be something that has characteristics of living things. This also includes things that lived in the past. And then A means not in Latin. So something that is abiotic would be an object that was never living. Go ahead and take a second to make sure that you have the same that I have. Now here, this should say the 8 characteristics of life, so please go ahead and add an H down here for the 8th characteristic. So this is an acronym, so the first letter is going to correspond with the first letter of each one of these characteristics. So A is for adaptation, G is for growth, the first R is for reproduction, O is for organization, C is for cells, E is for energy, the second R is for response to stimuli or response to environment, and H is for maintains homeostasis. Take a second to make sure that all of yours are the same as mine. Now let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about what each one of these words mean. So adaptation would be changing to be better suited to an environment. So I want you to think of something evolving over time, like through generations. You don't have to write these down on yours unless if it would help you. I am just writing it down because it helps me. Growth, you can think of cell splitting or something that has a life cycle. Cell split, life cycle. You are bigger now than you were when you were first born. Reproduction, we can think of having babies, or again, cell splitting. So this could be like a bacteria, right? There was one cell, it split, now there's 2. Organization, so we can think like a cell, and if you put a bunch of cells together, then you have a tissue. And if you put some of those together, you have an organ. Next level up, organ system. Till finally your organism. Anything that's living has to be made of cells. And it has to obtain and use energy. Now, responding to environment, this can happen in a variety of ways. What's important is just that it could respond. So this can be you go outside and it's cold, so you start shivering. Your body is shivering to maintain homeostasis. In this case, your body is shivering to maintain your temperature. So homeostasis would be the body maintains an internal normal set point. This could be for temperature or blood sugar or a variety of things. Okay, hopefully at this point you understand what each one of these words mean. If there's something that you do not understand, please ask me in class. Please send me an email. I need you to be able to understand all of those. So if you don't, let's clarify that now. Now, the important thing that I want to reiterate right now is to be considered biotic, something that is living or has lived, you have to fulfill all of the requirements. So to be biotic, you must fulfill all requirements. Oops. T. Okay. So then that's what this next exercise down here is asking you to do. It's asking you to look at all of these things and decide whether they are biotic or abiotic. And you had to add homeostasis. I'm sorry, I just need to edit this document for next year. So then if you decided that a computer has organization, you can put a check mark here. And then if something had a check mark in all 8 of these, you would decide that it's biotic. So instead of going through all of the check marks, because I don't have much time left on this video and I need to get through the back part of it, I am just going to tell you whether it's biotic or abiotic. And if you got one that was different than mine, go ahead and check back through your check marks and see if you added one too many or if you were missing one. If you have questions, again, please email me and let me know. Okay? So a computer, you should have come to the conclusion that that is abiotic. Water, also abiotic. A rat, biotic. Flour, biotic. Jojo Bear, this is Dr. Greg's dog, biotic. Blender, abiotic. And a car, abiotic. Okay? So AA, BBB, AA. If your answers did not match that, please go ahead and check through them. Alright, let's go ahead and flip to the back side now. So this part was asking you to read through this passage and decide whether the object that Marty found was biotic or abiotic. So remember that if it's going to be biotic, it has to meet all of the requirements, which I'm going to put the letters up here. And I did want you to sort all of them, remembering that even if it did not meet one of them, then that would mean automatically it's abiotic. So I'm not going to pick out which parts of the paragraph correspond with the different characteristics, because if you have any questions, I want you to be able to figure that out and I want you to tell me instead of me giving you everything. So I think that based upon this paragraph, it's showing that the object that Marty found obtains and uses energy. I think that it also shows that it responds to the environment, it responds to stimuli. I also think that there probably would be some organization if Marty looked really closely at this object. And while it's not specifically listed in this paragraph, I think that there could be an argument made for homeostasis. And I want you to think really hard why you think I would say that this object could potentially maintain homeostasis. I'm thinking of internal levels of something. Okay? Ones that definitely I don't think are here. There's no cells, no reproduction, and no growth. The one that I think that you could argue either way, but I lean toward putting it, oh, sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see that, my bad. I lean toward putting it down here is I don't really think that it exhibits adaptation. If you really read through the paragraph closely, I think that you know what object Marty found on Earth. So the object itself, I don't think it adapts, but I could see how you could argue that something about it could. We can talk about this in person more if you want to. Okay? And then here it says, is this thing biotic or abiotic? And I wanted just a really simple answer, just really, really quick. Well, we know that for it to have been considered biotic, all 8 of these would have to be up here. So even though, because all 8 of them are not up here, there's some down here, that means automatically not biotic. So that's right. Let me make this straight for you. I'm just going to say, ultimately, this system is abiotic. Because it doesn't have all of the characteristics of life. It's as simple as that. And that was the end of this first worksheet. At this point, hopefully you understand all of the 8 characteristics of life, how to decide if something is biotic or abiotic using those characteristics. And the next worksheet gave us even more practice with it. So I will see you in that video checking that worksheet. Bye for now, friends.